Hi everybody, Russ from the WESTHAM Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Looks like I'm blending in my pink top. Anyway, if you're new and give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. You know what to do. Give it a bloody good subscribe. The Wanderer returns. The Wanderer returns. Thank you so much, everyone. Lots of love, comments, and donations and tweets and all that type of stuff from me and John's walk, and Dave Sully Jr. as well. He joined us for the whole walk. Fair play to him. Although he spent most of his time on his phone badgering his mates to get donations. It was very, very good. If you haven't donated and you would like to, this is for the Easter egg appeal. So the idea is we're trying to supply as many Easter eggs to basically disadvantaged children in the Newham area whose families obviously take advantage of the food banks. Please get involved. We're over, I believe we're over £10,000 now, which is amazing. A certain Mr. Sullivan's just donated £5,000 to it, so there we go. It's good to see. So including that, we've also private donations as well. We're over £10,000 now, which is awesome. So as I said, I've got the link there. If you fancy it, you've got a quid, £2, whatever. Please feel free to donate. It'd be lovely, lovely, lovely. We'll probably be doing it, and we'll be doing the draw. So everyone who's been, who's donated will be entered into a prize draw to win a signed shirt. So probably that towards the end of this week. Probably towards the end of this week. So there we go. So that's very, very good. While we're here, just to mark your cards, on Wednesday we got Shaka doing a live Q&A on the channel, Shaka Hislop, Wednesday 8 p.m. So make sure you check that out. That's going to be fun. So you can come on and obviously any questions. Probably won't need to ask Shaka what his favourite mint was, like you did with Scott Minto. But lots of questions. Be really, really interesting. Also, maybe get his views on the #1 shirt at West Ham. Reports today that apparently Areola may be available on another loan deal next season. So we'll see what happens. But interesting. Interesting is obviously Hammer's headlines 5 o'clock tonight with the latest of Jarrod Bowen, Vladimir Soufal, and some potential incomings as well in the next couple of weeks. Let's see. We've got the chat. And then we'll just, I don't know how I feel about yesterday's game, to be honest. We'll come to it in a minute. Anyway, Ludders is in. Good afternoon, Ludders. Martin, hope you're well. Well done the book, Russ. How are you? I'm all right, thanks. I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm not too bad. The old legs aren't, the feet. No, feet is nothing. No problem with the feet at all. It's literally the top of my thighs. No, it's not. It's the bottom, sort of by the knee, just above there. Those both sides ache a little bit today. Yesterday a little bit as well, but I wasn't too bad actually. I was ploughing along ahead. I was having a go, and then as we was going through past the what was the bowling, John's like, I'm going to go and find the lamppost. Oh, you carry on finding the lamppost. I'm off. And it was lovely. We had Bike to Bowling. The Bike to Bowling group met us there, and with you might have seen it on Twitter. They had like all the Indian drums, and it was lovely. It was really, 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 really nice. Little sort of welcoming committee, so to speak, and a couple of people bought me a pint as well, although it was Diet Coke because I didn't really fancy a beer as such. I needed a quencher. James, hope we looked knackered yesterday. Oh well, rest up for the boys indeed. Hi Russ, I'm on the beer early on my birthday. Happy birthday, Gaza. 21 today, and never been kissed. Afternoon, Mark. Hope you're well. If I don't see you on the channel, happy birthday indeed. When's Ladders' birthday? Wednesday. This is on Wednesday. Very good. Buffalo's snowy. Hope you're all well. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. It was really, really fun. So for those of you who don't know, we started at Wembley at 10 o'clock in the morning. I should have put some pictures up. I think Anton did. So we started off 10 o'clock at Wembley, and then we walked to London Stadium. That took about 5 hours to get to London Stadium. And then another hour or so to get to the bowling. So it was 17 miles, pretty much bang on. So yeah. And we only stopped once in a pub just past Angel because John needed to charge his phone up. So that's not bad, is it? It's a lovely day for it. Beautiful day for it. So it's very, very good. Right, let's talk about yesterday. Let's dissect it a little bit as we try and do, whether win, lose or draw. Next day we try and do like a debrief session. Obviously, Matt and Anton did a great job yesterday, and Irish Tommy as well in terms of the highlight show and the watch-alongs. I fell asleep. I'll be honest. I fell asleep. It's the first time I've ever done that. But I've watched the game since. In its entirety, so I'm well averse in terms of the game itself. But what we do is we talk about David Moyes in terms of the post-match press conference, what he spoke about, some interesting things I think he said, and some things that got picked up on TalkSport this morning with Jim White show I listened to, and then I go through my ratings, and then we have a bit of a rest. I think we deserve a bit of a rest. It's international break. I think we deserve a bit of a rest. Not just the players, but us as well, particularly after Thursday. I know the players are knackered. I'm still knackered from Thursday. And I was there on Friday as well for the under-23s. That was a cracking game. Oh, if you haven't seen this on YouTube, I think it's 3-2. It was an absolute belter. Pierre Aguiar scored a fantastic goal. It was a worldie. Check that out. It'll be on YouTube. I think Jimmy Walker was doing the commentary, so that'd be quite funny more than anything. Right, let's get swirling with the Merlin. Right, in terms of... Let's just take that. Where's that background? Let me take that off. Thank you very much. So... these are the questions David Moyes was asked. Obviously, Tom Clark from Football London, it was his last game covering West Ham. You've had him on the channel. Big fan of Tom Clark. Love Tom. And hopefully he'll be doing... I don't know. They change all the journalists around. So we'll have someone else. It was Sam Ingleston beforehand. Now it was Tom Clark. But obviously, still Shane from the Athletic still there. So if Tom's watching, we thank you for your service, young man. Anyway, in terms of the first question was did the 120 minutes against Sevilla have a bearing on the game? I think it did. Undoubtedly, but more to do with preparation. I don't think it was our energy. If anything, I thought we had more. What tends to happen is the opening part of the game, it shows. The players have had a brilliant week from what they've done, and even today you take the last 2 or 3 minutes out and we had a really good go. And yeah, I think we did. Particularly second half when you took off Masuako. Are you disappointed with the third goal? And Moyes said, incredibly disappointed. If you were an under-11 coach, you would be disappointed. It was a very poor goal, that last one. With Mikhail, was it just tiredness? And Moyes' retort was, no, I don't think he reached his level. We needed Mikhail to play at a really high level, and the level of the Tottenham front players was such an unbelievably high level. Fair play. We had a lot of the ball, and I watched them here against Everton. It was very similar. Everton had a lot of ball, and without much of the ball, Tottenham were a couple of goals up, and it was similar to today. We had the ball for the opening 15 minutes or so, but they were 2 goals up, and I think that's a really good point. That's what, it seemed that we had a lot of ball, but they were, to be fair, Son was I know he fell down when a breath of wind, when Zuma kicked the ball and he fell down and stuff, but I think Moyes mentions it, 4 shots on target, 3 goals. You know what I mean? So they were deadly. And, I was listening to Nicky's West Ham Fan TV's little synopsis of the game, and he went, let them have it this one. We looked tired. And actually, I think someone also said, I think it was Nick Killington from Clout and Booze on his Facebook group, said he was speaking to a Spurs fan yesterday, and he said, now you know how it feels when you play us after we've played a European game and you turn us over. So, it's like, sort of bit of yin and yang, innit? Bit of yin and yang. In terms of the next question, asked how difficult it is to stop Tottenham. He goes, incredibly difficult because Harry Kane is a world-class player, and if you do not get it right, you'll be in trouble, and we did not get it right. I thought we started the game better, and we were a little unfortunate. Not to say they shouldn't have scored, as they had another chance. Son missed one, but one hits Kurt Zuma's knee, and the other deflection of the goalkeeper. We were 2-0 down when we had done not that much wrong. So credit to players for sticking at it and hanging in there to get a goal back, and we had that up until the 90 minutes. After the efforts for everything they've done this week, the players, I have to say, well done. Yeah, and that's fair enough, isn't it? That is fair enough. Antonio missed 2 chances. He's struggling with confidence in goal. He says 2. And this was actually picked up by Jim White today. And actually, Simon Jordan, fair play, actually sort of stuck up for Michael Antonio for once. I mean, 2 chances. Yeah, I don't know if he is struggling with confidence. Mitch is a good guy, and he does not come over that way as a confidence player. But if you are number 9 at any football club, you want to score goals, and that will fill your confidence. He had 2 good opportunities, and someone told me Spurs had 4 shots on target. We had 1, and Spurs scored 3, and we scored 1. So we had a 100% shot record. We had a chance, and they will say the same. That was not much in it, but ultimately Tottenham can suck you in and wait until you give the ball away and then get the ball to Kane and Son very quickly, and they are great at it. If you have good attacking players, you can cause Tottenham problems, because the opposition attackers can cause Tottenham problems, and if you do not give the ball away so much, it might limit the time Kane and Son can break on you. We kept the ball well, but in the final third we did not have an idea of where we were going to go with it. We did not deliver a good cross or hold up a good pass. Quite often it was into feet, and we didn't hold it up. And that was the main difference between the two sides, and Tottenham were very good in their front line. Yep, fair enough. He says, you looked frustrated at times with Said Benrahma's ball retention, collapsing to your knees at one point. And he goes, yes, when he was caught on the edge of the box and thought it was a free kick, and I felt he could have released the ball a bit quicker. But Said has come back to life a bit. There's nothing wrong with Said today. He's come back to life, and he's beginning to show better signs again, and the goal today will help him. Were the forwards the difference between the two teams? And Moy said no, but I don't think it was Tottenham's front two. They're a team of good players, not just the front two. But if you ask me today, the difference is we had 2 very good midfield players, and Spurs had very, very good midfield players. And we played with our wing-backs against their wing-backs. Was there much difference in all the areas of the field? For me, there wasn't much difference. I could say the defending compared to ours, but I think they came with their forward players. The quality of the forwards was so good. So you sort of do say the difference was the forwards there, Mr. Moyes, which it was. It really was. I mean, Son's deadly. Son is deadly. You know, if you give him a chance, he'll score. He does. And unfortunately with us, you give Antonio a chance, he might score. Whereas 9 times out of 10, Son does score. And I think that was the difference. They were more lethal with their shots. They had more shots on target and scored more goals. That was it. The top 4 will be quite difficult now, bearing in mind your European games. And Moyes went on a bit of a rant. He said, I'm a bit annoyed. Not about being asked about it, because I'm also quite pleased, because it tells you we're a side being talked about for the top 4. And if someone said to me at the start of the season, it would be all belly laughs. But we've been challenging, and if you said at the start of the season, none of you would have said yes. Or so for you to ask me now, it should really be, how well have West Ham done to stay until the final third of the season with 8 games to go, and probably only now drop out of the top 4? Because in truth, we have been in that bracket for a lot of the season. But with the quality of Tottenham and the spend of other teams compared to us, I think I said this from the start. If we maintained where we were from last season, that would be brilliant. We are not only done. We have not only done that, but we have done a little bit better because of the European games and having a decent run in the Cups. So I think now with 8 games left to go and 2 games in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, that is monumental. The players have been fantastic. They've been unbelievable. To beat Villa on Sunday, Seville in midweek, and then of all the games to go to, play Tottenham in a derby after 120 minutes, and they were in good form, and we were close in the league. You could not have picked a worse game to get after our midweek one. Yeah, fair play. Are you thankful for the midweek break? He says, I think it's not just me, but all managers, I hope, are happy for the break because of the intensity of the games. It's no excuse, because you want to be a big team, and when you play in Europe, you have to get used to it. And the players to do the preparation time, the recovery time. The one thing we have is a great resilience, and the players showed that in the main today. Maybe we lacked some good defending, some good finishing, but in the end, we did not give in or cave in. Yep, fair play. Are you giving the players time off? He said yes, but we are in training as well as we are getting ourselves ready for the most important part, and we want to be in the European positions. We've enjoyed this run year. We have enjoyed the run this year, and we want to get used to it again. Obviously, we have Lyon in between the league games, so we have to try and train and get everyone fresh, fit, fully functional, and ready to go. Asked about Vladimir Sufel, Joe Bowen be back in terms of time of the international break. He says, I hope so, but I can't guarantee it at the moment. I think Vladimir is a little further down the line because we know what he had, an operation on his hernia, and he's doing quite well. Jared, I cannot be so sure on, and actually we'll lead with that tonight. Hammer's headlines, 5 o'clock, in terms of the mystery. There's some reports out today in terms of the severity of Bowen's injury, Sufal in terms of likelihood of returning sooner rather than later, and also maybe some incomings potentially as well. Let's see what we've got in the chat. What we're saying. What's going in? I get all these Spurs fans saying hello today. Where have they been for the last 2 years? I'll let them. Lee, end of the day, for me, I'm letting them enjoy this one. Because it's usually on the other foot, innit? Usually Spurs have been playing like Champions League, whatever. We haven't had no Europa League, European competitions until recently. And we've always turned them over on the game they get back. Always happens. So I'll give them this one. Chris, good afternoon to you. Happy birthday. London's birthday's on Wednesday, but Gazza's on... actually, I won't be here, but happy birthday, Bloods, because obviously Tuesday, Wednesdays work in the office, but I'll make sure Anton reminds you. It's their cup final. It was, and if you saw the programme, there was a big thing about how we've got 8 cup finals left, and today's no more than so. So there we go. Kane had a bad start, but he's banging form now. There's nothing you can do about that. Him and Son, they were banging form, and we haven't... Antonio's form has been like this all season. Up and down, where Kane started very poorly. Obviously, maybe the disappointment of not going to Man City potentially, and now he's banging them in, isn't he? Yeah, we all do, Lee, but it is what it is. On another day, we could win that 3-2-4-3. They were clinical, but not good. Yeah, I totally agree. Afternoon, GP. Hope you're well. We missed some pace up front. Yeah. I think we missed a bit. I think we just missed a bit of energy. Obviously, we'll go for the ratings in a minute. But yeah, I think we set up wrong to start with. To be honest, actually, profound words by Moyes. I think so. I think a bit of like prospective Pete words. You know what I mean? He was like, always battle for top 4. To be honest, as I said, I think we were in a slightly false position anyway because we didn't have any games called off for COVID. So we were in a slightly false position. A lot of teams behind us were like 3-4 games less games. So really it could be 9 to 12 points ahead of us, really. So maybe people look at the league table, not necessarily look at the games. I don't know. I'm not making excuses. I don't think even Moyes is making excuses. We know we all know he knows we need a bigger squad, GP. He said that. But at the end of the day, nothing he can quite do about it now. Or can he? Have a look at Hammer's headlines at 5 o'clock and let us know. I'm pretty sure Moyes knows that. He just doesn't want to get stuck signing. Yeah, you're totally right. And that was what was the point of Jim White and Simon Jordan today. And I think Danny Murphy as well were on. They were talking about that, saying, well, Antonio, he says, Jim White's like basically, well, why didn't they buy anyone? And Simon Jordan goes, well, maybe he didn't want to buy anyone for the sake of buying one. He goes, yeah, but surely you're fourth in the, you're fourth, and then I think he went, well, because why buy someone who, it was a good, if you can listen to it back, it was good back and forth. And to be honest, Simon Jordan had our back. How was the walk, Russ? Very good. I know. Do you know what? It was beautiful. It was beautiful. There was, it was a lovely, lovely day. It started off a bit funny because, like Wembley, like the arse end of Wembley is all like industrial estates, isn't it? So I think Sully Junior. I think John were a bit like, where the fuck's Ross taking us? Because we go like round the back, we like round the Tesco's and then we hit like Kilburn and places like that. And it was nice. Then we hit Camden Lock and went and I took them down the lock side. So we went round it was lovely weather. Lovely weather. Then obviously through like Angel and Islington and then I think John was getting, how long we got to go? And then he started seeing Dalston and Hackney and he started getting a bit more relaxed. And then we got to the stadium, London Stadium, which was nice. And then we had to walk through Westfield to go down around to the bowling. It was a really nice walk. And I said, it probably took us about, I put a thing on Twitter, I think about 6.5 hours, something like that in total. But it was very good. Moyes got everything wrong in the first half. He did. I think he did. You're right. I feel Moyes should have rotated more, maybe. Yeah, potentially. They deserved the win, but it was disgusting display of sportsmanship for Spurs. Always is. Afternoon, just to let you know, they open their open top bus parade at 2 p.m. We need Luke. We need to sub out Masuaku earlier. He was exposed the first half. Zoom did not help. Worst game I've seen him play. That colour shirt suits you, by the way. Pink beat. May the boys wink. Yeah. Although, as I said, it's blending in a bit. I should go with a darker shirt with the backdrop. Haven't had much chance to see Spurs play except against us, but yeah, front three. If we want to compete with the top four, we need a more dynamic attack. What has Krakow do to get a game? Indeed. We've done brilliantly this season with the players we've got. Why you don't invest to carry it on and refuse to buy a striker? It will always come back and bite you in the arse. Yeah, Gary, I agree. And I think the thing is, I can see both sides. Personally, I can see both sides. I know, like, it was frustration that we didn't, and I think he was as frustrated as everyone else. Because there were bids going in, but they weren't being accepted, and it was a knock-on effect. I think of. I mean, I'm not building excuses, but a knock-on effect of COVID as well, in terms of people weren't letting people go to until they've sold. If they're not selling, and I think he didn't assume, and I think that's the trouble. I think there's always assumptions. So same as last year, when we had Dek and Souček, and then Dek gets injured, and it's sort of our season goes a bit wayward. It's happening now with Bowen. The idea was Bowen was his number 2, and that's great. But Bowen gets injured, and then we're up shit creek without a paddle. That's the trouble. We do miss Bowen badly, certainly. Indeed, the same happened last year. I did. I got sunburn. On my head. Look. A little bit sunburned. Only 30 yesterday. Masuaku is under contract until 2024 with a extended 3-6. I still will be happy. 6.5 hour walk is something else. Keep the walking up. It's so good for you. I've got my next one planned. My next charity. I'm not going to do it for a while. Maybe not till next season. I might do it. I don't even do it for the Christmas one. It'll be a bit cold. But I've got an idea. I need to sort of like see if I can do it. But that's the idea. Don't know if it's been said before, but I see Antonio is not travelling to play for Jamaica, and Bowen may make the other. I don't think he might. Bowen might. Keith, make sure you check out the Hammers headlines tonight. There's a new report out which might suggest that Bowen might not be back for that game. Spurs next season, no Conte, no Kane or Cup or Class. There we go. Indeed, yeah, be great, wouldn't it? Sorry if you want to move forward. We can't be playing Masuaku next season. You're right. I would love to spend 6 hours. Yeah, exactly. When do I ever get the opportunity to walk around London on my own for 6 hours? With John and David Sullivan Jr. It was lovely. It was really. Do you know what we sort of like looked at? Oh God, we've been walking for 3 hours, because I think Anton phoned me and said, "How are you getting on?" And he said, when I looked down, I was like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, we're 3 hours in." You just didn't realise, because you're just chatting about football and life and holidays, and when you it was good. To be fair, in hindsight, I really can't see what else he could have been done. Maybe Diop for Krez, Vlasic instead of Lanzini, or basically not playing Masuaku. I mean, let's go for my rating. So, as always, I give a rating. Obviously, I'm not, to be honest, I ain't too fussed about this game now. I know it's bad, but anyway, we'll do it. Then we're done. We can watch the international break, and then we'll see what happens for the Everton game. So, Fabianski. Basically 2 goals were deflected, so it didn't help really his cause at one bit in the first half. Obviously, the own goal, he couldn't do much about that. And to be honest, Son's goal, the second goal, was deflected as well. And the rest was sort of a relatively routine game, I think. Made some good saves, or some routine saves. I thought he played okay. So for Fab, I gave Fab a 6. I thought he played okay. He couldn't really do much else, really. What we got here, Luds gave him a 6. Should have done better all round by the Kane save. He didn't play Thursday. Yeah, but I mean, in terms of not playing, I mean, the first one was a deflection of him. We couldn't really do much about that, in all honesty, James. And the second one was, again, was a deflection, was a deflected shot as well. And just, yeah, up and down as a 6 anyway. Up and down as a 5. What we got here? Jamaica's basically out of the running for the World Cup. Oh yeah, because he's not going, is he? That's good. Hear about walking around London. This comes from America. Who would love to come to visit. Well, there we go, Jake. Luke, good luck to you. We seem to be missing those couple of players we should have bought in January. Maybe business sense wasn't such a good idea after all. Who knows? Fab came out better, but only a 5. Yeah, 5, 6s. Fair enough. I mean, to be honest, there's nothing really. There's no headlines here. 5 or 6s. There's 1 7 and 1 3. Ben Johnson. Obviously, we played with the. Pardon me. We sort of played with the. It was sort of weird. We sort of played with these sort of wing back things, but if anything, I think Ben Johnson was like much deeper than Masuaku. So Masuaku was like almost like as a left forward. I know it was set up as a 5, but it was almost like a 4 most of the time. It was really weird. And I thought was more defensively solid as always. Didn't really do much going forward. I think with Son being in essence your opponent, he was more on the defensive rather than the offensive, which makes sense. So I mean, I put him down for a 6. I thought he played all right. I thought he played okay. It wasn't really much. I mean, James says I prefer him on the left. Yeah, but I think Moisey prefers him on the left. But I think with Soufal out as well, then yeah. Are we ready to move on from Fabianski to Areola? Well, obviously Areola's loan deal comes to an end, although I was reading reports today that there is going to be, we can buy him, or there is another option for another year. I haven't read it properly, but anyway. 6, 5s. Yep. Made me laugh when the commentator said for the first goal, Kane and Son combined and was well up in them, and it turned out to be an own goal. Indeed. What is it with all these bloody protesters tying themselves to the goalpost? With cable ties as well. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Fabianski better not be in next season. He's losing athletic ability before my eyes. I can only see how bad he'll be next season. Well, he is in next season. He's here. He is coming back out. He signed a 1-year extension, so we'll be back next season. We'll see. Johnson did fine, but didn't have much positive impact. Yep, 6, 5s. Yeah, I think we're going to be on the same page today. Craigie boy Dawson, again. He made, again, as always, he makes a number of important blocks. He's always blocking. He's always good in the air. Steady Eddie. Obviously, there was the error for the third goal. If he didn't have that, I might have put him down for a 7-ish, but I put him down as a 6. So I put him down as a 6. I thought he played okay. I mean, he is consistent, isn't he? It's when he makes a mistake, it does look ridiculous because he's always so consistent. So I put him down as a 6. So that's what I put him down. So did Ludders, to be honest. Epic Hash Time says Ariela's idea is rumored to be an option to buy. Yep. So according to the Athletic, West Ham have the option to sign him again for another year or pay 11 million to make it permanent. That's what the Athletic are reporting today. Roshane, friend of the channel, has revealed that the club have got different avenues they can go down to get a deal done for him to stay. So as I said, one could be buy him permanently for 11 million. Alternatively, they could extend the loan by an extra year, which could make more financial sense. Obviously, Fabianski being several years older and just renewing his contract for an extra year, maybe they do keep him on loan for another year. So that's a possibility. West Ham's try and keep Areola in the squad for next season on loan with the intention of making him number 1. If Fabianski's level drops and he decides to call it a day at the end of the next season, so who knows? Who knows? Right. The commentator sounded like a Spurs suit. Oh, they always do. 6, 5. Les 6. Dawson has been a great signing. Where would it be without him? Indeed. I like how Russ's top coordinates. Yeah, I know. I need to wear like a darker top. I don't like his. Pink, make the boys weak. That's me, mate. Innit? That's me. And the girls as well. Zuma. Obviously, both goals were his fault in the first half. And a mistake for the third, in essence. So, his worst performance in a West Ham shirt. Bar none. Absolutely dog performance from Zooms. 5 I gave him. Steve gave him a 4. Ludders gave him a 5. 2, and I'm being generous. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Areola could be a top keeper if he plays in the league. I believe he had the most saves. Yeah, but because he was playing for Fulham though, so he had the most chances to make saves. If you don't buy him, they would price go up for 11 years. I don't know. I'd need to look into it a little bit more, lads. To be honest, I need to look into how long his contract is, because it might be that his contract may come to. I don't know how long his contract is, so it may be even a free. I don't know. I'd be surprised it would be actually. To be honest, they're usually quite good on that. Fives. Zuma had me screaming my TV. 4 looked tired after the shift he put in. So, and I think that's basically it. A lot of it is the shift they put in. They put 120 minutes. You know, there's not many players who play 120 who are used to playing 120 minutes, really. So, Zuma 4. There we go. Anyway. Krezi struggled in the first half. Basically, Masuaku wasn't helping at all. Improved. I mean, he played a lot better when Fornals played on that left side. I really like Fornals playing that left wing back role. I think it works really well for him. He brings an extra sense of dynamism. Well, not even the left wing back, but sort of on the left side of midfield. So I put Krezi down for a 5. I thought it was an okay game. I mean, he didn't do very good. So Cressy 5 of Maz on the pitch, 7 when he wasn't. Yeah, I'll get that 6. So yeah, maybe a 6 should be better. But I just thought the first half was so poor that he didn't really have a chance really. 6, 5s. Yeah, makes sense. Next up, we have got Declan Rice, who he'll be kicking himself that he didn't get in the way of that interception, which then led to that Spurs second goal. That's Declan Rice. He'll be kicking himself if he didn't get that, and he'll know that. Second half, much better. He got on the ball a lot more often. The second half we really came out of it, you know. So I put him down as a 6. I thought it wasn't his best game at all, but it wasn't his worst game. I thought it was reasonably average. Maybe it should be a 7 with Dex. Maybe 7's his average score, but I put it down as a 6. 7. 6 was there's no half points here, GP. You know that 6.5. So, yeah, 6 to 7. I think it's a fair score for Dex. 2 quite possibly tied. 5, maybe. And again, another 100. I don't think with Dex it's tiredness because he's an incredibly fit guy. I just thought maybe it was just. I just think, honestly, I think it was all down to Masuaku, the knock-on effect. It wasn't the right thing. Yeah, this is exactly the point. I was like, he was living the whole game after missing the interception for the second goal. Definitely. Oh, John Ratomski's just given me an idea. I'll tell you how much we've raised so far for the walk. Souček, quiet match from him. You know, a lot of the game passed him by, to be honest. You know, worked hard, but didn't really offer much, in my opinion. Very quiet game after the last few. 5. He's played so well the last couple of games. Made such a difference to how he's usually been playing this season. It was back to the old Souček the last couple of games, but not good. The fatigue effects, exactly. Souček 5, 4, 6s, 5s. Yeah, so we're on the same page there, ladies and gents. On the same page. Masuaku obviously went off at 57 minutes. Awful afternoon. Out of position in defence, and then you think, okay, well, if he's out of position in defence, well, hopefully he's offering in attack. Offered very little in attack as well. I think it was a poor decision, to be honest, to play him, and one which cost the game. It really did, because by then it would take a monumental effort to get the momentum back going, if that made sense. Just didn't give Cresswell any protection at all. I just thought it was very, very poor. So I put it down for a 3. I think it's the lowest score I've ever given someone of these things. Souček 5, constantly trying to fill the gap in left. Yes, exactly. Did try some offensive plays. He tries is the operative word there. Massa 5, 2 for putting the shirt on the shorts. Well done. -2, and again that was generous. Wanting him out of the club. Would have started Fredericks. I mean, I would have played 4 hours at that left wing back position. I just think he's got that enthusiasm, that energy which permeates the rest of the team. If you're going to play, then you play. I'd say you then play Glenn Johnson on the left, and then bring in Fredericks on the right. I don't know. Seliaku won, not to defend him or anything, but he was sort of out of sort. He was sort of thrown to the lions. Yeah, maybe, but he's used to playing in these big games. Moisey does put him in these games. Particularly against Spurs and stuff. It's not like he hasn't played against Tottenham before in his West Ham career. Personally, I would have given him a run out for the 23s and then maybe put him on the bench for yesterday. But what do I know? Lanzini, first half not very good, second half much more improved. He started to find the little pockets in the second half a bit more, with that sort of energy that Fornals brings, sort of that attacking threat. It sort of gave Lanzini a bit more space, so he started to find some, little pockets of pace, little pockets of areas where he can sort of, really pass into feet and get some good things going. Right, what we got here? So I put him down for a 6. Was maybe our best player, Ram Miles. No point in wing backs if they just pass back all the time. Totally right, Chris. Totally right. I don't think it's all down to tiredness. Some of it came from the preparations playing Thursday. How much time does the team have to prepare for the game on Sunday? That's what Moisey said himself in the press conference. If you just started, go back and watch it, because we talk about the press conference. That's one of the points he made. Never looked like the Lanzini he normally plays against Spurs. Manu 6, similar. Hashtag truth, says Scott. Next one, Ben Rama. Obviously scored, which is good for him. Gave the ball away a lot, but he always does. But he worked well. But I think he worked well to try and off the balls, try and get into positions. But I just think sometimes it just doesn't work for him, and he sort of struggles creatively. That's the way I see it with Benny, to be honest. But obviously he took the goal well, and that will do him confidence. I think that's 6 now for the season. So I put him down for a 6 as well. He scored 6 goals, but there we go. Views El Clasico yesterday. Whoa, that was mental. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. It must be highlights somewhere. It was mental, and slightly fearful now of having to play Barcelona in the next round, potentially, if we get through. They were... it was quite interesting. It was quite interesting, absolutely blowing Real Madrid away in the, was it 3-0 at half time? No, 2-0 at half time and 4-0 eventually. Aubameyang with 2 goals as well, and Torres as well. Mental. Benny 6. Afternoon, Green. I hope you're well. Need investment. Ian, we know that. We all know that. He knows that as well. But what can we do? Because, we can say that and we know it, or we can just try and just get behind them for the next half dozen games and then do the debrief later on. Russ knows Anton is a robot. Do I? He's a machine. Look, played tidy, tried to break through. 7 because of the goal. 6. 7 because of the goal. 6. 7. I've come to the conclusion he doesn't suit our team. I don't think he does, James. It's no slight on him at all, but I think in the same way, a little bit like Sebastian Haller, there's no denying what a fantastic player he is. Just doesn't suit the way we play. I don't think so. I think you can squeeze him in, and he'll have a good game. But it's the consistency, and I think because he's not playing in the right formation for his skills. In Brentford, he plays left. He plays left of a front 3, very expansive. Didn't really give him much defensive duties to do. That suits him to the ground. It's great to have that type of player. Maybe that type of player plays better in the Championship I don't know, because there's more space or whatever. But I just don't think he suits us. I really don't. It's horrible because he is a good player. He is a good player. I hate to say it, but anyway. Imagine if Benny had the breakaway speed, he'd be similar to Salah. Yeah, indeed. Looked tired physically and mentally, a yard behind. Shame we played a high line and Moyes did not change it. Cresswell got caught out twice, playing them on side. He did. Anyway, let's move on. Antonio obviously missed a great chance, which is his last kick of the game. He missed a chance, and he had a good shot, which was just wide in the first half as well. Quiet afternoon. I thought he looked leggy. I thought he looked quite leggy, even more so than usual. I know he always looks leggy when he walks on the pitch because physically the way he holds his body, but he looked tired. He did look tired, and maybe, as people put in the chat, maybe it would have been a rotation job. As I said, I watched the under-23s on the Friday at the stadium, and they pulled off. They pulled the Rockerflex and Chester's off at 60 minutes, which seemed a bit of a strange one because it was quite a tight game. So I assumed they were going to be part of the squad, and I think only Chester's was. He might not even been in there. Perkins scored a good goal as well, but he may. I mean, you wouldn't have put a 17 or 18-year-old in for that game, but yeah. That small ingredient pace is the number between good and bad, good and great indeed. If only we know that we needed investment, but I think it's important to keep saying it. Otherwise, we turn to players and Moyes in our anger, and they don't deserve it. I think the investment was there. I honestly think, but Moyes has made it very clear, adamantly clear, that he decided not to buy players. So it's not. It wasn't the board. It was him. So yeah. So I don't think so. 5 gave him, so 4 was worse as usual. James gives us his favourite, just insert random number here. That's what it is. 4-3 was Perkins. Perkins was on our bench, and he played the whole game. He played the whole game for 23s. Antonio 5. Question, Russ, if we had better quality defensive cover fullbacks, would Moyes be willing to play wide players who have no defensive duties like Bowen and Fornals have? No, I don't think so, Garino. That's not the Moyes way. For me, for Moyes, it's all around. It's about everyone being a collective defensive unit. So Bowen tracks back. I mean, I was at the ground. Obviously, last season I was at the stadium, and I'd see, and you might not necessarily have picked it up because you was watching it on TV. But Lingard was really, really. People say, "Oh, he wasn't given defensive duties." That's bullshit. He was lugging guts to get back and cover at right back and various positions when the fullbacks went forward. He wasn't a luxury player at all. If you play for David Moyes' team. You need to be doing this and that and defending and da. Also, it's worth noting that Sevilla drew 0-0 with Real Sociedad at home. This is very unusual, particularly with Real Madrid. Because Real Madrid lost to Barcelona, they could have got some points back. But anyway, just want to say. The board should have forced him. They can't really, can they, GP? They can say the money's here, you can buy it, if you don't. You can buy or not buy, The money was there, and they made it very clear the money was there. They may have been wise, some bids, because I think it was it Rashane on Friday when we had him on, said the only claim of someone asked him about the bids for players in January. He said the only one I haven't been able to substantiate was the Calvin Phillips bid. Every other bid I found to be true. And that Calvin Phillips thing, by all accounts, was was like one of them slipping a bit of paper to Angus Kinnear, who's the CEO of Leeds, who used to be managing director of West Ham, and that was that deal. That was that one, but that was the only thing that was apparently unsubstantiated. Antonio 5 would have been exhaustive if only he could finish those chances. Antonio's 4 as well. Never true word said from her. We should remind people. Son was a joke the way he acted, always is. That's the case. We should go 2 up top and have play an extra player midfield. Maybe. I was not impressed with Antonio falling over. Looked like Romero and the others flopping around. Can't stand it. 2 world-class players. Need 2 players. 2 world-class players in every position. Only the top 3 or 4 teams have got that, though, mate. And that, James, to be honest. Right, subs, Fornals. I thought, when he came on, we looked a different team. More intensity, more aggression, more energy. We scared them when he came on. I think really just in terms of the energy and creativity, I actually thought he played really well in terms of the impact he made on the team. I actually had him down as a 7 because I thought he played really well. What we got? Declan is not firing all cylinders following his illness. I don't think so. I think he's trying to do too much again. He takes a captain's approach, doesn't he? So he's trying to do everything. And I think sometimes when he just, maybe he thinks he probably is the best tackler, he probably is one of the best passers as well. He's taking the ball more. Him and Susek finally seem to have the dynamic again. It was a little bit off yesterday, but there we go. what we got here. I hope Son is okay being here. Oh, I'll tell you what, yeah, poor guy. 7-7. It took 5 minutes for Spurs taking. Cool indeed. Why did Cressy make more of his shove in the face? Antony tried to show the ref, but didn't want to know, because Cressy's a proper professional, isn't he, lads? That's it. So I thought he played really well. Fornals, I think Fornals is I think he's great. Elbow, I love him. I love Elbow. That's what we call him on this channel, because obviously Bo and L. Yeah. Yarmolenko, obviously half chance he missed as soon as after coming on. Didn't really have much of a night at goal. He kept on going. There's no doubt the last 3 games his performance levels have got are so much better than they have been for the last, since Chelsea scoring that goal against Chelsea in 3-2. What he did, sprint the whole length of the pitch trying to catch Son, which is quite impressive. Fair play to him. I had him down to 6. I thought he had a good game. I thought he played all right. He was okay. Yeah, he's like, it seems, since coming back, he's got a point to prove, it seems. And I think maybe, I know everything's happened is obviously awful for him, and because of that, he wasn't eating as much and he dropped a bit of weight, and I think he made a big difference. I think he made a huge difference to him in terms of his carrying less, so he could still keep going. Do you know what I mean? 6. If we put in an unsuited or an immediate bid, you'd expect it to be turned down. But I don't think. I think the players, the bids we put in for players weren't ridiculous, weren't ridiculously low. I thought, there's reports today that Villa are looking to buy Calvin Phillips for 60 million quid, and we might put another bid in for him. So I think we offered 50, weren't it? Rafinha, 50 million. I thought for a mid-table Premier League player, that's a very good deal, I thought, and Darwin Núñez was another like 50, 60 million pound bid. Again, very good player. I don't think, I think maybe I think also a factor is people didn't want to sell as much, in my opinion. But anyway. 6. Still not convinced it was 100% Moyes that stopped more players. Doesn't make sense, but there you go. Everyone is, of course, entitled. They are free, and we can. End of the day, you've got your opinion. Everyone's got. I've got my opinion. All I can go is what Mr. Moyes has said. And I trust Moyes. I trust the process. The fact he's so adamant. If it was as a sort of flippant comment or just an off comment, but he's so passionate when anyone asks him about buying in January. Yep, all my idea. They gave me money, they were great, and that's what I'm going with. If what Moyes says is true, players not free to the summer, I expect some of the signings on the first day. There's going to be a lot of free signing. There's going to be a lot of rebuilding as well. So maybe there was a little bit of that in the, maybe as well. I don't know. It's like he knows that come the summer, there's a big rebuilding job needed. Yarmo, if only he had lost pace after injury. We need some speedy players. Yeah, wait and see. We'll wait and see. Although the kickoff of the season is the beginning of August, isn't it? So it's a little bit earlier. So you think people are going to get their business done a little bit earlier than usual, potentially. I didn't give Vlasic I think he'd only come on with like 5 minutes to go. So there we go. Right, a few more comments and then we'll skedaddle. As I said, we've got just to mark your diaries. We've got Shaka on Wednesday. We may have another ex-player this week. We may do. We may not. Depends if that ex-player gets back to me or not. But if we do get him, you'll have 2 very good ex-players. Modern-day ex-players as well, in terms of Hislop. I consider him a modern-day player compared to a Brian Deere or something like that. Next week, we've got Tony Carr on the channel. And I believe also we've got another appreciation night next week. I believe it's Julian Dick's appreciation night next week. So despite the fact that we were in the international break, the content and the opportunity to talk to ex-players and stuff is ever present here. Right. The board have backed all managers. Doesn't make sense. They went back in. Moyes didn't fancy anyone. Is that simple? That's a great point, Mark. It's a great point. At the end of the day, they've spent hundreds of millions of pounds with Pellegrini. They've gone out and bought. They still went and bought Bowen, and they went and bought Suchek and Sufal and Benrahma, and they bought these players. So why wouldn't they back him in January? So that adds credence to my idea that the money was there, but Moyes didn't fancy anyone. And for me, I trust. I understand the process. I don't believe it's right, but I understand there's a process there. And so the players he didn't want weren't available, or the clubs wouldn't sell them. So we'll see. Moyes needs a West Ham job, and everyone else knows they cannot say anything untoward about their employees. Otherwise, you'll be maybe Pete. But then again, I'm not being funny. Moyes can go into any club now and get a job now, isn't he? At the end of the day, Moyes has proven the fact that he is a good Premier League manager. You think with lots of managerial merry-go-rounds coming up, that Moyes would be someone if he ever was let go because he was outspoken about something, he would get a job no problem. And so I don't personally, Pete, I love it. I don't agree with that idea, but it's your opinion, mate, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you voicing it. Who's going to Lyon? Travel looks ridiculous, expensive in Seville. Fly to Geneva and get training. That's the trick. Geneva, I think you can get to, if you're in London, I think it's London City to Geneva on the Wednesday was something like 150 quid, and then the train from Geneva to Lyon was something like 50 quid. So it's a couple of £100 return. I know that Martin and John they're getting the Eurostar to Lyon on the day before, I think, and then they're actually getting a train to Marseille and the flight from Marseille back to London. It's a slightly different way. How did the walk from Park to Lyon go? Yeah, I might as well start going, innit? I think Moyes has done enough to be guaranteed a job if we let him go, and it'd be crazy. Indeed, you think Deck will play as their only friend and let him be on the bench? I reckon they'll probably bring him on. I don't think maybe the Switzerland game he might start, maybe not the Ivory Coast. It's almost like that's how I can see it happening, but we'll see. You just don't know, do you? I mean, if I was Gareth Southgate, I'd want the likes of Conor Gallagher and people like that to be getting a run out. And obviously, if Bowen wasn't injured, the chances were, by all accounts, that he would be in that squad. Does anyone know how many saves Xhaka made in the 2000? No, Chris, but you can go and watch the game again and tell me. Laters, stop spouting out propaganda for the ball. Oh, Peter, shush. He's got an opinion like you have an opinion. Either side of the argument, either side of the fence. I sit on it and I'm the judge. Either side. You've got one opinion, Mark's got the other side opinion. Don't call them out all the time, Pete. Come on, we're all West Ham fans. Moyes is not scared of the board. Yep, no, I totally agree. I'm with you, Mark. I totally agree. I saw Liverpool versus Worrell is Premier League ready would be a great sign. £15 million had been quoted. Everton have been looking at him, but they'll be in the Championship, so they won't want to buy him. I could see Worrell being like a sort of Craig Dawson 2.0. He's got that sort of like warrior mentality about him. I think he'd be very good. Just Moyes is putting himself under more pressure now because they're slipping because of fatigue. Why would you do that? I don't know. I'm getting the plane to Montpellier, 2 hours and the coach drive. Oh, all together. There we go. I'll just let you two all argue. They're arguing like Zippy and Bungle. They are. And you can't do much about them. At the end of the day, everyone's got an opinion, like an arsehole. We've all got them. Lack of depth and score and alternative show. That's why people were accepting the result before the game. I agree, Richard. I agree. And to be honest, it was almost like I forgot we were playing Tottenham. I was so the hysteria of the. And it shows how far we've come as well, I think, as in a half glass full. In that, people are like, oh well, we just got qualified to the final eight of the Europa League. Oh well, we've got Spurs. Oh, good luck to them. Well done. Usually, I'd be spitting feathers, but I'm not. And I'm sort of, and then I look at other people like I saw Nicky on West Ham Fan TV, and he says a similar thing. Let them have this one. And so I'm sort of like, yeah. And like all my mates are Tottenham fans, I'm seeing pictures of, maybe you can put that song to rest finally. And I'm like, well, until your next cup final next year, you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, it's the international break now. We can all chill out and relax. Intrigued. Haven't got no backup today. Little fish in a big pond. What? Oh, Peter, please. Please, just be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice. We're all West Ham fans here. You're one side of the argument. Mark's the other side of the argument. We know that. Okay, just let bygones be bygones. No doubt Spuds are the ones celebrating their cup final. I got abuse from the other channel. In it, and it's usually us because they've played in Europe, but they're not in Europe, and we're in Europe, and they're in the good Europe, not the Mickey Mouse Europe. Well, even if we're in Mickey Mouse Europe next year, I don't care because it's still Europe, it's still great. What we got here? Why do you keep putting out propaganda? He's not, Mark. Pete, he's not. He's his opinion. Why are you putting out propaganda for GSB out? Why are you doing that, Pete? I can ask you the same question, my friend. He's got one thing and another thing. And actually, Mr. Moyes, doesn't matter what we say, Pete, whether you agree or you disagree, right? But Mr. Moyes, our manager, has said that he was given money. And it makes no. And he said it makes no sense. Looking in past transfers, they have invested in every transfer budget, every transfer window. The one transfer window where Moyes has taken control of it by his own admissions, he hasn't spent. So that makes no logical sense to me. But he's done that, so we trust. So there's nothing we can do. It's not anti either way. So anyway, I'll leave it to it. I got abused too. I went onto the Spurs channel and said, "Well played, I'm off to eat my lasagna." Good on you, son. I'm not bothered about the loss yesterday. We've got bigger games to play. We certainly have. Afternoon, Luke. Hope you're well. There really is no point in carrying about squad depth. We can't. Exactly, Victor. Exactly. There's no point going over the same old ground, lack of investment, until the summer now. We can't buy anyone. Or can we? Check out the West Ham, the Hammers headlines at 5 o'clock tonight. Just leaving that one on. Sack everyone, Luke says. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for all your time. If you're new and give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share. Give it a like if you're excited for having 2 weeks off about talking about West Ham. Give it a like. Maybe become a channel member. Over 50 of them on the channel so far, and we'd like to thank you each and every one of them on my shows. We're going to be doing a prize draw actually for all the Hammers, all the West Ham Network members soon, and we're going to do quite regular things to say like a thank you. So there'll be a draw in a couple of weeks' time. So if you want to become a member and that. Becoming a member, you actively already get entered into the draw. It's to win a West Ham signed shirt. Please do so. For this one, there'll be plenty of others as well. Anyway, peeps, take care, everyone. Stay safe, wash those hands, get us jab appointments, stay lucky, stay healthy. Come on, you irons. Let's put our feet up for 2 weeks. Much love. Bye-bye.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should tell